Cool. Hello, everyone. I am Callum McGill. I'm a product manager here at Arturia. I joined the company maybe 2 years ago, roughly 2 years ago, and this is my first product to introduce to you all, and it's called Augmented STRINGS Intro. Yeah, and just really excited to be here, really excited to show this instrument to you, and yeah, to bring out my first product with Arturia. So, Augmented STRINGS Intro, and just the Augmented Strings or the Augmented series. Where did it all come from? Like, why did we want to do it? Where was the inspiration from? So there's been, obviously, strings, sampled strings is not something we've done before, and we've really wanted to explore this area of music, area of plugins, area of instrument. But we wanted to do it in our own specific way, in our own Arturia way, using our DNA to try and like go beyond strings, or like how do we make strings modern? How do we make these instruments contemporary? How do we make them useful in like today's music production? So that was kind of like the ideas that we were tossing around and like thinking to ourselves. And yeah, this instrument was born from that. The idea is to like augment traditional instruments into contemporary instruments, to augment like a real string sound into like a whole new sound you've never heard before, you know. And it's been a lot of fun creating it. It's been a lot of fun understanding how we can do that. And yeah, really excited to show you this intro version. I guess now's a good time to say it's free. It's free for anyone that wants to download it and try it out. It's not just a trial. So, you know, in a year's time, if you downloaded it and you had a track with it, it still work. So I'd really love for you guys to download it and to get your opinions on it, you know? Like, I really want it to get into as many hands as possible in this time period that it's free, and yeah, hear what you guys can do with this, in my opinion, really good instrument. Obviously, I'm a bit biased, but that's the way it goes. So I feel like I've kind of given you a nice introduction, traditional sounds, contemporary sounds, exploring new string sounds, trying to make string sounds you've never heard before, but also have the real string sounds as well in there. So like a sort of versatile, really interesting and unique instrument. I think probably the best way to show you is to play you presets instead of me talking about it. So I've got a few presets to show you, just to like the sort of versatility of it, the different sounds from it, and then we'll talk about the feature sets, and then I'll talk about the sound design and where we wanted to go with the sound design. We'll talk about the future of the series and the future of this product, and then I guess we'll have questions. I'm sure there's lots of questions. I hope there's lots of questions, and I'll try my hardest to answer them, you know. So I'm going to play you a few presets now with not much talking, and just to try and give you a flavor of what we can do with augmented strings. So yeah, quite like a, I guess just a real sort of string sound. I'll talk about the Morph and the features a bit later on, but I kind of just want to show you like some presets, as I said. So that's strings on air. Let's listen to kind of different sound, like a sort of plucky sound. So those two sounds are quite real, authentic, with a bit of reverb. The first one was a bit hybrid, but let's look into what this beast of an instrument can do, because maybe now's a good time to say that we have a lot of string samples, like a really nice library, like a string ensemble library with some solo strings as well. But we also have some great state-of-the-art synthesis in here from the minds of, you know, the V collection and pigments, all our expertise in the VA, harmonic, granular. So all these great minds, we've all like come together and streamlined it into building this engine for you guys. So the next sound I want to show you is called Wide Wide Worlds. And it's quite different. Really nice, sort of, we still got the strings in there. I feel we have the string color, but really hybrid and really like interesting and new. Just one more, and then I'll start actually going into the main page, the feature set, and show you the morphs and the macros and all of these nice things. So this is just sort of show off like the kind of lo-fi sound that we've tried to aim at it too. So yeah, just between those like 4 presets, they sound, in my ears, really different, really new and really fresh. So this thing is full of surprises, which is really nice about it. So let me just rack up the next preset and we'll talk about this big morph knob in the middle. So this is kind of where the whole product, almost like where the whole product came from, because we have the real strings, but we really want to be able to like morph and change that sound and go into the synths, or the sort of, maybe not synths, but like new sounds. And this is where the morph comes into it. So imagine like you have like your layers. So you have like the 2 layers, layer A and layer B. And I kind of see them as 2 presets. It's a very similar concept to the Polybrew. I don't know if you guys know it. It's a really amazing synth that Arturia came out with. And it's kind of the same concept. So you have your 2 sort of presets, and then morph is, it's not just a blend, it like really like transforms and evolves through the morph knob into the next sort of preset, into the next sound. Really interesting. And I guess this is a good time to also talk about the interface. So maybe we'll listen to the morph first, because I'm jumping ahead of myself. So I just want to show you what layer A is first. We'll go on to layer B, and then we'll play with the morph. So I'm just going to play like just simple chords. So we have that real string ensemble, quite melancholic, to this like really interesting, almost, to me it sounds kind of like a synth choir, kind of. I mean, I could spend here all day just, just tweaking this one knob. The idea was to like give you guys something really quick and, I don't want to say easy, but like approachable way of finding new sounds and being expressive with this instrument. And this was the feature that we came up with. Now we'll talk about the interface. So to give you like an idea of what you're going to hear with the different layers, we've come up with this striking interface. I mean, I personally really like it. I helped with the sort of concept of it. And on the left, we have this like organic string sound, which, you know. And then on the right, we have our digital sound. And we can kind of see these two worlds together. So you can quickly understand, like when I go through this preset, I'll have this kind of like this sound world here. I have this sound world here. So when you're flicking through, you kind of know what you're going to do, or kind of know what you're going to hear. So, you know, if I load in this one, I've got two real strings. Great. So I kind of already know, I understand what I'm going to have. We'll flick through real strings, synths. This is like a hybrid, so it'll be like real strings, synths on the left, and real strings and synths on the right. Just to give you like a sort of kind of idea of where we're going with the patch. But yeah, I wanted to go back to ensemble sustain tremolo. One key, I don't know, like idea that we wanted to do with the whole, I mean, Arturi's never done a string instrument. So we wanted to really explore what we could do with a string instrument, as in like pushing it and augmenting the strings. But we really did want to like give you a real string library if you wanted to use it like that. I really wanted it to like showcase loads of different use cases. So for this preset, we have ensemble sustain on the left. And then we have like the ensemble tremolo. And you'd find this in like string libraries where you would play it maybe on the mod wheel or on here, the morph wheel. You play, and it was kind of like reenact what a violinist would do. So they'd like do the sustain and then finish off into the tremolo. So yeah, I will show you how to play it. Maybe I should play a different chord progression because I keep playing the same one. So yeah, really nice, and there's quite a few presets like that where I wanted to give the user that kind of expressive control over the violin articulations. The final one I wanted to show you for this explaining the morph knob is called Explore Tomorrow, and this is a hybrid sound, so like synth and strings to synth and strings. Just again to show you like the versatility. And these ones, yeah, I think really nice synth pad. Nice. Again, those three presets are just like totally different in my mind. So download this and explore it for yourself, because I'll talk about the macros now. So these 7 dials around the Morph knob are the macros. While I said that, as I was thinking, it's like you have a preset, you have 2 presets per preset, like the 2 layers. But then you go into the macros and you can find like 3 or 4 other worlds within the one preset. And it's like, yeah, it's really cool. But I'll show you. It's better to show you, I guess. So let's just describe it. So we have color. Color usually controls maybe like filter cutoffs or like engine textures. We have time. This is like how a sound comes in or goes out, like the release and the attack of the sound. Motion can be quite a lot of different things. Maybe it's vibrato, maybe it's tremolo, maybe it's this, I don't know, maybe it's the speed of like a grain. Each layer has effects. So layer A has its own effects, layer B has its own effects. And then it all finishes off with like a master effects. So it's like a delay or a reverb. And these are kind of essentially like dry and wets. So I'll load a preset called Calm Down. Everyone calm down. Because I thought, yeah, it had quite a lot of interesting different flavors with these macros. So yeah, turning up. You can hear the motion, like kind of giving a tremolo, like a pulse. Color here sounds like a sort of filter sweep. Yeah, they both sound like sort of filter sweeps. Add a really nice like flanger sound to the layer B. Go back to here. It's kind of like, another like tremolo. Whack up the reverb. I don't know, that's it. So you can kind of hear the first preset, but it's changed a lot. This one I find really interesting because it's kind of more of like a cinematic sound. I can hear it in like a, yeah, as like a sort of quite like dissonant. And really fast tremolo. But if we turn down the motion, we have no pitch anymore, like no pitch waving. So you can almost start playing it like a normal sound. And that is very different to what we started off with. And so probably having a bit too much fun. And then, yeah, I'll just show you some more quick macros. This sounds like a Mellotron sound to me. So yeah, you get the idea. There's a lot of room for maneuver, and there's a lot of fun to be had. Just tweaking the morph, tweaking these macros, and seeing how the sound changes, and just having a lot of fun. Cool. So there's one more thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about. And then I'll tell you a bit about the future, and then we can have some question and answers. So yeah, one thing I just wanted to say was, you know, we came up with the concept. We wanted this to be like a sort of like string solution, like for all your string needs. You would like load in this plugin, and you could use it on several types of genres and several types of use cases. So we had like this big sound design workshop when it was time to do sound design, and we really wanted to push the sound designers in these sort of genres. So this instrument can please like this user who's like making, I don't know, like urban, like hip hop, or this guy's making like electronic house, or this guy's making pop track. Like, I really wanted to push the sound designers in their like specific fields to like deliver these kind of sounds. So this is like, you could buy the one string solution, or get the one string solution and use it on several types of flavors, several types of genres of music. So the 5 genres that we chose were like cinematic and ambient. I mean, they're kind of a bit similar, but this is definitely like a big cinematic instrument, and you can really like do some interesting things with this. Then it's like pop, urban music, quite blurry. I mean, pop means everything nowadays, and urban's very on trend. But yeah, we really wanted to like make sure we had some like bread and butter sound and some sounds that like fitted in to these genres. And the final one is like electronic, again, massively broad, but like, I don't know, house or techno or something like that. Like, we wanted to bring these different flavors. So I'm going to play like one preset from each genre, and then that's enough of you guys listening to the instrument, and then we'll talk about the future, and then I'll answer some questions. So for cinematic, I've got Dark Rises. So this is where you can play a sound of one finger. What note should I play? I mean, very epic sound. So you get the picture. Really like dark and atmospheric, and very different to what I've shown you so far. This one's kind of the ambient. It's kind of the one I chose for ambient. Quite cinematic as well. Bit of a pop one. Really plucky, really bright. Kind of like bread and butter. Can like stand out in a mix. Urban, I went for like this sort of yeah, very nice. And the last one, this is gonna be the last preset I think I'm gonna play you. It's called Polyup. It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, 5 really different sounds. I think it hits the genres pretty well, to be honest. I guess I would say that. So yeah, I guess let's talk about the future quickly, and then I have some questions from you. I hope you enjoyed that little presentation of what this instrument can sound like and looks like. And yeah, I would really recommend downloading it because it's free. So go for it. So yeah, the future, this is being presented as the Augmented series. So what's coming next, I can't really tell you, but I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I'd love to know if you like this one, and I'd love to know what kind of other instruments you'd like us to augment. I mean, just put it in like YouTube comments or the Instagram comments, because I will go through them all and I will read them all. And yeah, I really want to hear what you guys want to hear, what would be good in your productions and stuff like that. This is an intro version, so you would expect us to make the full version. Maybe it's coming in the future. I can't say too much. Maybe you get access to the full engine. I can't say too much. It's confidential. But yeah, please download this. And I guess I'm ready to answer some questions. Cool. Let me just... So I guess I just choose anyone from there. Cool. Okay, first question I've got. Is there going to be a full version of Augmented Strings? What will the full version look like? Well, I kind of just said. Maybe there'll be a full version. Maybe it'll be coming soon. I can't say too much. What will the full version look like? It's going to, give you access to this amazing engine. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to swiftly move on to the next question. Will Arturia also be introduced in brass, woodwind, etc. versions? Any news on other products? So yeah, we're thinking about it, obviously. Please send recommendations. Please tell us what you want. I think there's room to explore all sorts of different sounds. So yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't make a brass or a woodwind one. I think that'd be really nice, especially woodwinds. To me, I think that mixed with synths would sound really cool. But yeah, please just in the comments, just right, I want electric piano augmented series, or I don't know, some weird ones, or I want some, I don't know, oriental strings, or I don't know, have a think, and please put them in there, Yeah, I'm seeing augmenters with brass. Augmented brass, augmented cinematic percussion. Maybe. Maybe, we'll see. I also think percussion would be very cool, or like percussive instruments could be very cool. Yeah, please write them in the comments, because I'll go through them all. Me and my team will go through them all, and we'll read them and talk about them and what makes sense. And yeah, I really can't wait to hear your sort of how this sparks off your creativity as well as ours. Okay. Can I use directly with my Polybrute without a computer? I'm not really sure what that means. You can use Polybrute without a computer for sure. Can you use, I don't know what that means, so I'm going to move on. But definitely Polybrutes work without computers because they're analog synth and they sound amazing. Okay, so yeah, I have CPU related questions. I understand that there's been some issues with older computers. Before I answer these questions, like, it's the top of my priority list to make this as CPU as efficient as possible. I want everyone to be able to use it, and CPU shouldn't be an issue, you know. But there's a lot of heavy coding going on behind the scenes, and all sorts of different like algorithms that I don't want to bore you with. But yeah, it's hard to make things sound amazing. In my opinion, it's hard to make things sound amazing. There's always a sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to like balance everything up, you know. But it's a main priority of mine. We got to reduce it, I think. But, you know. Do you have plans to reduce the CPU? If yes, when can we expect it? We're working on it at the moment. We've been working on it. We'll be doing updates. We'll be doing, as soon as we have something that we think will be beneficial to you, we will do it. These guys are so passionate. You wouldn't understand, but like, well, you would understand, but being here, being in Arturia, the people, the amount of passion, the amount of love for these products and the amount of effort that goes into these to make them work well in your hands is incredible. It's really amazing. So we'll do everything we can to reduce it. I don't know when, but yeah, we'll keep you updated and we'll keep working on it hard. Can you talk a bit about CPU consumption, as presets tend to take up a lot? Buster set at 512 or 1024. Yeah, as I said, we're working on it. There's some things that we might do to the engines. All I can say is that we're working on it. It's a big priority of ours. I don't have any updates at the moment for CPU overloading, but trust me, it's like what? It's like my main priority for you guys. I want it to be able to work on every computer, you know. Will there be an option to select what might be different mic positions? As giving a bit juicy information, I would say that there's 80% likely you'd have different mic positions, maybe close and far mics. I'm not saying anymore. Are the knobs assignable? Yes, 100%. They're assignable to MIDI keyboards, they're assignable to your DAW. So, you know, it could be really cool to play a chord progression, then have the Morph knob in time, I don't know, like automate it with your beat or something like that. It could be really cool. So yeah, 100% assignable. Where was I? Is it an instrument or more like, is Augmented Strings an instrument or more like a tool? Pretty interesting. You know, when I'm playing it, I feel like I'm playing an instrument. When I was setting up for this, you know, I was choosing the presets, what to show you guys, and I'm just like in a room, just losing myself. And I feel like you can only really do that with an instrument. When it comes to a tool, like, yeah, I guess the tool is like, can it be used quickly? this is how I think about it. Can it be used quickly? Can it be used in loads of different settings? Then I would also say it's a tool, because really quick workflow, loads of different sounds. You can approach it like that. I have an hour to make a song, or I have an hour to play an instrument. So, you know, to me, it's both. Would Arturia consider a similar instrument that would allow morphing between 2 or more of the various V collection synths? Interesting. It's, I think that'd be quite hard, because these different synths are completely like different entities. So to morph between 2, you'd almost have to like build them together and build this like mothership of a synth. Maybe that's something we could do in the future. Maybe we could like put all our synths into one and have this morph. It's something to consider. Pretty interesting. What is the purpose behind augmented strings? Deep question. I hope I answered it in the introduction. The purpose is to bring traditional instruments into the contemporary world. It's to give you a sort of like one solution product. So I have strings, I can do authentic strings, I can do mellotron strings kind of sounds, I can do synth strings, I can do big cinematic things, I can do pop. The purpose of it is to just have the one instrument that can, I don't want to say a Swiss knife, because there's a lot of craft going into it. I don't want to like say that, but it's versatile. Like you heard all the presets I went through. It sounds so different, like from one preset to another. The purpose is to like augment traditional instruments into something new and something fresh for like 2022. That's how I see it. Cool. Is NKS integration coming for this product? Are these also in NKS format as well? Yes, it's coming. I don't know the date off the top of my head, but it's definitely, it's something that we do with all our products, all our software products, that it becomes NKS compatible. So yeah, I don't know the timeline, but for sure in the next couple of months, if not sooner, I would say. That's probably, hopefully I'm not putting someone in. It's like, oh God, we haven't got time. Are you going to make full virtual string instruments? Cello, violins, string ensembles? Yeah, something to think about. I'm really much into the idea, and I think it could be really interesting for us. I think this is like a really nice mix between our two worlds and like our first sort of step into that world of strings and synths. But yeah, maybe there's like another step of going into like fully blown string instruments or other orchestral instruments. It's something that I would quite like to push, but there's a whole team of us and like a whole strategy and all sorts of things, but I would like to. I will push it for you. Will the time knob able to match the door's tempo? Yeah, the time knob is more about like sort of more like envelopes, so like how a sound will come in and a sound like release and come out. The motion knob maybe is what you're thinking of potentially. Usually the motion on the tremolos and on the vibratos and on whatever else is controlling is usually synced to the door tempo. In the full-blown version, yes, but you have to wait for that. Is Augmented Strings the first in a new series of plugins from Arturia? Yes. Yeah, there's ideas in the pipeline. I really want to hear from you guys, as I said. But yeah, we're presenting it as a series, so yeah, there's more to come, for sure. Any more classic virtual synths planned for V Collection? Well, it wouldn't be the V Collection without some classic synths, I think. So yeah, we are working potentially on some new stuff. I think the new stuff is gonna, yeah, really get you excited, I hope. Because maybe we've been working hard on some things that I can't talk about. But of course, I mean, V Collection is, you know, like a big collection for music makers, for hopefully like all styles of music. But there's some heritage in classic synths, of course, with V Collection, not only like pianos or keyboards, but the classics. So yeah, we will bring more classic synths. I'm sure of that. Automation possible with the 2 presets. So I think you're saying, so the macros, like the morph, color, time, motion, work for both presets, work for both layers. I think that's what the question is. So they will, like, color will affect both of them. The effects are for specific layers, and then the delay and reverb are for like the final sort of chain. So yeah, automating between the 2 presets would be like automating the morph knob. It's kind of how I think you're saying it. It's definitely possible. Yeah, it works in your DAW. I think it'd be really cool to put it, yeah, I don't know, have your 2 different sounds like bouncing during a beat, or like slowly evolving through a sound or through chord progression. More of a request. Oh, and the ability to run the user's own samples through the augmented engine, please. Yeah, maybe. We'll think about it. At the moment, the augmented series is more specifically targeting traditional instruments, I guess, or instruments, like real instruments. But yeah, running your own samples through it could be really cool. It's something to think about. So write it in the, I'm going to collect all these feature requests. I'm going to collect all these ideas, you know, in a big like spreadsheet, and I'm going to rank them all and try and prioritize like what's really important to people. But this is like a really cool idea for sure. I don't have to answer this one. Why is Arturia called Arturia? I don't know. I don't know why it's called Arturia. Arty? Art?
Art, culture, multimedia.
It's because it's called Art, Culture, Multimedia. Art, Culture, Multimedia. Nice. Yeah. Cool. Right. I think that's all of them. So I'm going to play some more music to end the live stream. And just want to say thank you so much for watching. Yeah, it's very, very nice to show off this instrument to you guys. I'm going to just quickly find a really nice preset called Canon. Yeah.